Greetings, and welcome to the High Flying Tutors Academy channel. Today, I'll be helping you with a practical accounting question, topic manufacturing topic, right? And then let's see what are we required to prepare down there. Required to prepare the statement of cost of goods manufactured or produced for the year ended 30 April 2019. We are also required to calculate the cost of goods sold for the year ended 30 April 2019. Lastly, we are required to prepare the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 30 April 2019. And then here is the information for Maluta Steels Manufacturing Company for the year ended 30 April 2019, right? This is the question that we'll be doing. This is practical accounting question for manufacturing, and then this is the answer sheet there that we're going to use to be preparing this. I know most of the time in the exams maybe the answer sheet might not be provided, but here I provide to make things easy, right? So let's start with the question, right? So we are given information from Maluta Steels Manufacturing Company for the year ended 30 April 2019. So I want us to go to the answer sheet there and outline the first thing that we need to calculate in the manufacturing statement. Number one, you must outline the period, right? Outline the period assists you to determine the opening balances based on the period provided, and also the closing date help you to determine the closing balances. So any balance that is of 1st of May 2019 is opening balance, and any balance that is of 30 April 2019 is the closing balance. So now we need to go and calculate our direct materials, right? Our direct material costs. So now our direct material cost is equal to raw material at the beginning, raw material at the beginning or raw material opening, raw material inventory opening, and then you add raw material. You add the raw material purchases. You add raw material purchases, and then you also go and add transport cost for raw material. Add transport cost for raw material. Transport cost for raw material, you add there, and then raw material inventory opening plus raw material purchases plus transport cost for raw material will give you raw material available for use, right? And then after that, you're gonna less raw material inventory closing. Raw material inventory closing. Right? This will, after we have completed this format, we will be able to get our direct material costs. Direct material cost or direct material used, right? So now let's go to the question and quickly calculate the direct material cost today, right? Let's go to our question there. If you check under this information, there we go, we've got raw material inventory opening, right? Opening, because the date is 1 May 2018, which is the opening date of the business, right? So for the financial period. So now let's go to our answer sheet there. Let's go to our answer sheet and indicate in our answer sheet that our opening raw material is 86,900, right? And then we go and check again in our question the raw material purchases. The raw material purchases during the year. Let's check there. Raw material purchases. We go there. There's purchases of raw material of 760,000. So we go into our format there. Our answer sheet, we say 760,000 for raw material purchases or raw material purchased, right? And then transport costs. Let's go and check it in our question there if we've got any transport cost on purchases. Let's check them. By the look of things here, we do not have the transport cost, right? So it means our transport cost there, we're going to just put a 0, okay? Because there's nothing to put. There's no any figure to put except for 0, right? So now let's go and calculate our raw material used. Our raw material used is going to be 86,900 plus 760,000. 760,000, and then I get 846,900, right? That is our raw material used. That is our raw material available for use. I mean to say raw material available for use. And then now we go and check in our question the raw material inventory closing, which is going to be on this date. So we're going to check raw material inventory on this date. That will be our closing. Let's go there. There we go. Our raw material inventory on the 30th of April 2019 is 55,400, right? 54,400. So we come in brackets there because any figure that we have to subtract in accounting, we must put in brackets there. Any negative figure must be put in brackets in accounting, right? Which is 55,400 for the raw material inventory closing. Now, after that, we're going to say raw material available for use minus raw material inventory closing, right? We're going to have to say raw material available for use minus raw material inventory closing, right? So we're going to get our direct material cost. So let's do that. So it's going to be 846,900, which is raw material available for use minus closing inventory for raw material, which is 55400. Then I got a total of 791,500. That is how we calculate our direct material cost. That is how we calculate our direct material cost. And then let's go and check our direct labor cost in the information there. In the information there, we've got a direct labor cost of 169,000. Right, 169,000. We go to the answer sheet there. On the direct labor cost, we say 169,000, right? That is our direct labor cost. And then prime cost or primary cost. Prime cost or primary cost is calculated as follows. You're gonna say direct material cost of 791,500. You add direct labor cost of 169,000, right? To get the prime cost, you have to say direct material cost plus direct labor cost. And then you're going to get 960,000, 960,500, 960,500. That is our primary cost. That is our primary cost, right? And then after that, we are going to add manufacturing overheads
or factory overheads, but we need to calculate our factory overheads or our manufacturing overheads, right? So our factory overheads are calculated or is the sum or total of any expenditure that is happening in the factory. Any expenditure related to the factory is going to be an item that is going to assist us to calculate manufacturing or factory overheads, right? Any expenditure of the factory, any expenses related to the factory, it is a manufacturing overheads, right? So let's go and check in the question. What are the expenses that are of a factory? Expenses that are of a factory. Number one there, I see there is utilities for factory. Utilities for factory, right? Utilities for factory. Utilities for factory. That is one of the expenses there. Utilities for factory. How much was it? Utilities for factory. Utilities for factory. Let's go to the question there and check how much is it. Utilities for factory. Utilities for factory is 45,900. 45,900. So we go there, we say 45,900. That is utilities for factory. And then another one is what? Let's go and check from the question there. Another one is following utilities for factory is depreciation for factory. Depreciation for factory, right? Depreciation for factory. Depreciation for factory. So depreciation for factory is let's see there from the question. It's 110,000. 110,000. 110,000. 110,000, right? And then we go to the next one there. Let's go and check in from our question there. The following expenditure for factory is insurance for factory, right? Insurance for factory, 45,000. Insurance for factory, 45,000. Insurance for factory. Insurance for factory. Insurance for factory, 45,000, right? And then let's go and check another expenditure there. For factory, supplies for factory. You can say factory supplies, you can say supplies for factory, no problem. So supplies for factory, supplies for factory, or factory supplies. Let's check how much is our supplies for factory there. Supplies for factory is 14,590. 14,590. Right? Go to the answer sheet there. 14,590. That is our supplies for factory. That is our supplies for factory. And then let's go and check another factory overhead. Another factory overhead is our indirect labor. Another factory overhead is our indirect labor. Our indirect labor is 150,000. Indirect labor. Indirect labor, 150,000. 150,000, right? And then let's go and check for another one. Another one, which is, I hope, is the last one, is maintenance for factory. 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 Maintenance for factory, how much is it there? Maintenance for factory is 90,000. Maintenance for factory is 90,000. It's 90,000. So 90,000. right? That is the last one there. And then in order for you to calculate your manufacturing overhead, you have to add all of these expenses, right? You have to add all of these expenses. So let's see. Let's see how much is it gonna give us. So we're gonna say 45,900 plus 110,000 plus 45,000 plus 14,590 plus 150,000 plus 90,000. So I got a 455,000. 455,490. That is our manufacturing overhead or factory overhead, right? And then after that, we need to calculate the total manufacturing cost. So your total manufacturing cost is going to be our prime cost plus our manufacturing overheads, right? So it's going to be 960,500 plus 455,490, right? And then you're gonna get a total of 1,415,990, right? That is our total manufacturing overheads. Okay, and then after that we need to calculate the cost of goods produced or manufactured, right? In order for you to calculate the cost of goods manufactured, you have to say total manufacturing cost. You add work in progress, work in progress, work in progress, work in progress, work in progress opening, work in progress opening there, work in progress opening, and then you less work in progress closing, work in progress there. In this side must be work in progress closing, right? And then we're gonna get our cost of goods produced or manufactured. So let's go to the question to identify the work in progress opening. Remember, we're gonna check on the date. So the date 1 May 2018, right? And then I got there is 185,000. Work in progress at the beginning is 185,000. So we go to our answer sheet there. Opening is 185,000, and then closing balance must be put in brackets as well. Let's go and check how much is it in the question there. Is 120,000 our closing, because we check the date 30 April 2019 which is going to be 120,000. So we go there, we minus 120,000 in our answer sheet here, right? And then we will get our cost of goods manufactured. So let's calculate this one. It's going to be 1,415,990 plus 185,000, which is work in progress opening, and then we subtract 120,000, which is work in progress closing, and then we will get our cost of goods produced, which is 1,480,990. Our cost of goods produced or manufactured is 1,480,990. That is how we calculate our cost of goods manufactured according to the question as per requirement there, right? Number one, we are done with it, right? Now we have to go and calculate the cost of goods sold, right? The cost of goods sold. Let's go to our answer sheet there and see what is happening. Okay, the cost of goods sold they gave us here. We've got a format there. Number one, we must calculate goods available for sale, right? Number one, we must calculate goods available for sale. So in order for us to calculate goods available for sale, we have to say finished goods. We have to say finished goods. We have to say finished goods. Finished goods. Finished goods. Inventory opening. Finished goods inventory. Opening. And then we add cost of goods produced or manufactured. We have to add this one. We have to add this one. I'm just going to copy this one and paste it there. We have to add this one. We have to add this one, cost of goods manufactured, which is even in there. We have to edit it here. Cost of goods manufactured, which is 1,480,990. Right? This is our cost of goods manufactured. And then we go to the question to identify or to check the finished goods inventory opening there. Let's do so. The finished goods inventory opening is 256,000, right? There is given 256,000 right there, right? And then we say 256,000, and then finished goods inventory opening. You add cost of goods produced or manufactured. You're gonna get cost goods available for sale, right? So let's do so. So it's gonna be 256,000 plus 148,0990, right? And then we're gonna get 1,736,990. That is our cost of goods available for sale. Cost of goods available for sale or goods available for sale, right? Goods available for sale is gonna be 1,736,990, right? And then after that we have to less finished goods inventory closing. Finished goods inventory closing. Finished goods inventory closing. Finished goods inventory closing. We put in brackets because we have to subtract, right? So let's go and check in our question there, or in our information provided regarding the Maluta manufacturing. It's going to be 220,000 right there, right? And then that is our closing finished goods. Finished goods closing right there. It's going to be 220,123 there. Okay, and then we're going to get cost of goods sold, which is cost of sales in another words, right? So let's see how much is that. We're gonna say 1,736,990 minus 220,000 of finished goods inventory closing. We're gonna get our cost of goods manufactured and cost of goods sold. I mean to say cost of goods sold, which is equals to 1,516,990. That is how we calculate our cost of goods sold, which is cost of sales, right? And then that is all for number 2 as per required there, that we needed to calculate the cost of goods sold, which is also known as cost of sales, right? So number 3, they say prepare the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 30 April 2019. So let's go and prepare the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, right? Let's go to down there. We find our format right there. So our format, we know, is going to be sales, so less cost of sales, less cost of sales there, less cost of sales, right? Your less cost of sales, and then you're gonna say you're gonna get gross profit. After getting gross profit, you're gonna less your operating expenses, then you get profit for the year, right? So let's go and check our sales there. Our sales is right there, is 2,800,000. That is our sales, right? Our sales is 2,800,000. And then cost of sales is the one we calculated up there, this one of 1,516,990. That is our cost of sales, 1,516,990. That is our cost of sales. So we need to calculate gross profit. So gross profit is equal to our sales of 2,800,000 minus 1,516,990. Our gross profit is equal to 1,283,010. Right? And then now we need to calculate our operating expenses. Our operating expenses, we are going to check there. We're going to find them on the information there. Number 1 there is up there, selling expenses, right? Selling expenses, normal expenses that we are used to into companies, right? Which is, I see selling expenses 150,000. So I'm gonna go this side. I say selling expenses, selling expenses 150,000. And then we also have another one there. I think we only have 2, which is administrative expenses, right? Administrative expenses is 350,000. If you check there in the question, it's equal to 350,000 right there. Okay. So let's go to our answer sheet there and say administrative expenses, or maybe office expenses as well. They are also operating expenses, right? Administrative expenses is 350,000, right? Those are the 2 expenses or operating expenses we have, right? So we're gonna add both of them to get operating expenses, right? So our operating expense is going to be 150,000 plus 350,000, right? I get 500,000. Therefore, because I have to minus it, I put in brackets 500,000, right? And then I'm gonna say, in order for me to get the profit for the year, it's gonna be gross profit minus operating expenses. So gross profit of 1,283,010 minus 500,000 there. You will get your profit for the year. Profit for the year. So profit for the year is equal to 783,010. 783 and 10. That is our profit. That is our statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year ended 30 April 2019 for
for Maluta Steels Manufacturing, right? So we are done with this question. We are done with this question, and then I'll see you in the next session. Thank you for watching and salute.